Howdy, how's it going? I'm Mitchell616, welcome to the channel. If you enjoy the content and would like to support the channel, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And if there's any content you'd like to see, please let me know in the comments. Now, let's launch to what matters. Star Citizen has been in the spotlight again, and as the free flight comes to an end, I'd love to hear about all your opinions and experiences down in the comments. And for those of you that don't know, the free fly event enables players who haven't purchased the game to get into the verse, test out some ships, and see what sort of content Star Citizen has to offer. But the big question on most people's minds is Star Citizen actually worth playing in 2025? Or is it still the buggy, unfinished dream people love to argue about? Well, let's break it down. First things first, Star Citizen is still in alpha, but it's 2025. It's a very different alpha than what it was years ago. You can fly ships, trade cargo, run combat missions, explore planets and moons, and you can even take on the larger scale sandbox missions like the Stormbreaker where you've got to fight the Apex Valakar, or even the Align and Mine content where you fire the giant space laser. There's a ton to do compared to 5 or even 3 years ago, but it's still nowhere near a finished product. So the question is, are you okay with playing a game that's more a living work in progress than a finished release? And if so, how accessible is it for new players? Star Citizen has a reputation for being, well, intimidating. The learning curve is steep, the keybinds are overwhelming, and honestly, the free fly can drop you in with very little guidance or knowledge to what content is available to you. That said, the tutorial system and the community guides in 2025 are better than ever before. You can find tons of orgs and veteran players who will be happy to take you under the wing and let you tag along, but it's Star Citizen, so you'll still need patience. And realistically, a half-decent PC as low-end hardware can still struggle. So how does it actually feel to play? Server performance is better than it used to be. I mean, the 600 player cap is a little bit high, so I'd always recommend going for a lower population server if possible. From time to time you can get a bit of rubber banding, some crashes, some ships disappearing, and some moments where things just don't work. It's not perfect, but when it works, it's unlike anything else. Landing on a planet in real time, walking into a space station, buying cargo, flying it across the system, you and a group of your friends manning a capital ship, taking on other players or NPCs in large-scale wars, or zipping around in small fighters doing some low-altitude flying or flying around space stations to test your skills. The possibilities go on, and the immersion is still unmatched. If you value polish above all else, then you may feel frustrated at times, but if you value ambition and scale, you'll be impressed, as nothing on the market today comes close. The community and multiplayer aspect of Star Citizen is something that I recommend any player needs to experience. One of the best parts of Star Citizen is its community orgs. Basically guilds, and they are thriving, and most veteran players and guilds actually want to help new players. Is the game fun playing as a solo? Yes, you can get by, but Star Citizen really shines when you're with a group. Multi-crew ships, exploration parties, or just goofing off in stations and hangars. When you're with an org or a group of your friends, it just heightens the Star Citizen experience tenfold. Now, let's get to the gritty stuff. A big talking point every year is it actually moving forward? And in 2025, yes, progress is visible. We've seen new star systems, more fleshed out professions, but let's be real, the pace is still slow. This isn't a game that's going to release next year. So if you're buying in, you're buying into the journey, not the destination. At least, not yet. But with each update comes new content to explore, test, and experience. Yes, there's a good chance that it won't be perfect initially, but in 2025, you tell me a game that is. Now, let's talk about money. After the free fly event ends, if you want to keep playing, or if you want to start playing, you'll need a starter pack. And at the time of recording, the cheapest starter pack is £36.94. That works out at around $50 US. Do you need to break the bank and go after a $500 ship? No, absolutely not. You can earn ships in-game, though it does take time, and yes, some people spend thousands, but you don't need to. Starter ship is enough to experience most of the game's content. And with that starter ship, you'll earn in-game money to then progress and buy a bigger ship to experience the rest of the content. But you do need to keep in mind, this is a buy-in for something that's not finished. So you have to be comfortable with the risk that the game may go in a direction that you don't particularly like. But I will say there's a reason why people keep coming back, and that's the immersion. The feeling of walking around your ship, flying into space without loading screens, or teaming up with friends for an epic space adventure. It's something that you can't really get anywhere else, and not to the standard that Star Citizen does it. Star Citizen is one of those games that creates those water cooler moments, those stories where you had to be there, those epic gaming moments, but it definitely has its frustrations. Bugs, incomplete systems, and the looming question of when or if it will ever be truly finished. Some players burn out fast because they expect a complete MMO and instead find a sandbox with rough edges, so the enjoyment really depends on your expectations going in. So, is Star Citizen really worth playing in 2025? If you're curious, love space sims, and don't mind a bit of chaos, then yes. If you've enjoyed the free fly event, it's worth taking that next step and getting yourself a pledge ship. If you want a polished, finished game, no, it's not quite there yet, and you may want to hold off a little longer. If you've played the free fly and you're on the fence, but you still have that little craving of wanting more, then personally, I think it's worth taking the plunge and getting yourself a ship, and getting yourself back into the verse. Some people fall in love, and some people bounce off quickly. And that's fine, but one thing's for sure, there's nothing else quite like Star Citizen. If you tried Star Citizen during the free fly event, let me know your experience in the comments. I'd love to hear if it hooked you, or scared you away. And if you do decide to get a pledge ship, feel free to use my referral code, so we both get a little something extra. And if this video helped in any way, please don't forget to like and subscribe, as it all supports the channel. And let me know some of your favourite things about Star Citizen. But for now, I'm Mitchell616, thank you for watching all the way to the end, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.